Hey guys! If you're born in the 1980s, you are going to love this video. In this video, we are looking at some nostalgic facts about the 1980s. All information is collected from Best Life Online and Mental Floss. So, let's start. Number 1. A billion people tuned in to see Prince Charles and Lady Diana get married. To give some context to that figure, just 10.5 million viewers watched Kim Kardashian's 2011 wedding to Kris Humphries. Number 2. The first commercial US cell phone weighed 2 pounds. Though the first analog cellular phone system was introduced in Japan in the late 1970s, it wasn't until 1983 that Americans could get their hands on one of these devices. The Motorola Dynatac 8000X had a waiting list thousands of people long, despite its high price point and low functionality. The phone could only store 30 numbers, charging it took 10 hours. It only offered 30 minutes of talk time. It weighed 2 pounds, or almost 1 kilogram, and came with an exorbitant price tag, $3,995, or $9,410 in today's dollars. For more nostalgia, here is the sound of an 80s phone ringing. Number 3. Customs agents seized 20,000 counterfeit Cabbage Patch dolls in 1984. The Cabbage Patch doll craze hit fever pitch in the 1980s, to the point that parents were getting into knock-down, drag-out fights with each other at malls across the country to get their hands on one of these chubby-cheeked toys. In fact, the trend was so huge, 20,000 fake Cabbage Patch dolls, many containing volatile compounds that generally don't make their way into doll stuffing, were seized by customs agents before Christmas in 1984. Number 4. You weren't legally required to use your seatbelt in a car until 1984. While seatbelts had to be included in personal vehicles in the United States by 1968, actually using them was optional until 1984. Number 5. Children of the 80s only had to spend a quarter for the average Hershey's bar. In fact, even adjusted for inflation, that only comes out to about 75 cents in today's dollars. Number 6. Olivia Newton-John's "Physical" was the decade's most popular song. In fact, the 1981 tune was the year's most popular song, spending 10 weeks atop the Billboard Hot 100, beating out Kim Carnes' Betty Davis Eyes, and the Diana Ross and Lionel Richie mega-hit, Endless Love, both of which stayed atop the chart for just 9 weeks each. Number 7. Speaking of music, Michael Jackson was the decade's most popular artist. Throughout the 1980s, the king of pop maintained his spot atop the Billboard charts for 27 weeks, beating his next closest competitor, Lionel Richie, by a full 6 weeks. Number 8. The original Game Boy had only 5 games available in the United States. Nintendo first rolled out the Game Boy to a Japanese market on April 21, 1989, bringing it on the USA just a few months later in July of the same year. However, the playing options were pretty limited. Users in the United States could only choose from Super Mario Land, Alleyway, Baseball, Tetris, and Tennis. Japanese audiences also got a game called Yakuman, but neither Tennis or Tetris. Number 9. The personal computer was the machine of the year. Before the 1980s, with the exception of a few models, computers were largely machines that took up entire rooms and were predominantly used by astronauts, scientists, and government officials. However, by the 1980s, the personal computer was gaining traction in homes around the world, with companies like IBM launching their own mass-market PCs. By the way, if you are enjoying this video, a subscribe to my channel will be wonderful. I want to reach 100 subscribers at the end of this year. If you are already subscribed, share my videos to your friends. Okay, now back to business. Number 10. MTV first hit the air in 1981. Many 80s kids will remember tuning into its first broadcast on August 1, 1981. And while the channel's programming may be nothing about music these days, at one point, MTV lived up to its name, kicking off its first day on air with a broadcast of Video Killed the Radio Star by the Buggles. Number 11. The average home price in 1985 was under $100,000. The average cost of a new home in 1985 was just $92,800, or $229,990.61 when adjusted for inflation. In contrast, the average house bought in the US in 2017 cost $398,900. Number 12. Nobody had seen 24-hour news until 1981. It wasn't until June 1, 1981, that Ted Turner launched the first ever 24-hour news network. Dubbed Cable News Network, later shortened to CNN, the cable channel was also the country's first channel to show exclusively news programming. You couldn't play a CD at home until 1982. While CD technology had existed for some years already, consumers eager to listen to music at home couldn't use them until 1982. It was then that the original consumer CD player, the Sony CDP-101, hit the market. Number 13. Those without cable TV only got 3 channels. In many markets, people who didn't subscribe to cable just got the so-called Big 3 channels: ABC, CBS, and NBC. Number 14. The Rubik's Cube was originally called the Hungarian Magic Cube. When it first hit the market in 1977, the popular toy was dubbed the Hungarian Magic Cube, hoping for something catchier. However, the name was changed to Rubik's Cube in 1980, and it managed to sell 390 million cubes over the next 29 years. Number 15. Clark Kent helped name the Walkman. Sony named the Walkman after the Pressman audio recorder featured popularly in Superman. They originally called it the Soundabout in the United States and the Stowaway in the United Kingdom. Number 16. Halley's Comet was first observed via spacecraft in 1986. Chinese astronomers first noticed it in 239 BCE. We won't see it again from Earth until 2061. Number 17. John Bon Jovi didn't like the song, "Livin' on a Prayer," and almost scrapped it from the "Slippery When Wet" album before it gave them their first #1 song. Number 18. The Terminator most iconic line was supposed to be, "I'll come back."
I'll be back.
The line, "I'll be back," from the Terminator movies was written in the movie's novelization as, "I'll come back." But before you write that off as a typo, "I'll come back," is how the line was written in the original script. Number 19. The oldest known emoticon is from 1982. Computer scientist Scott E. Fahlman offered them as a way of showing lightheartedness on message board posts. Number 20. A 3-year-old inspired the Polaroid camera. All the cool 80s kids had a Polaroid 660. The brand itself was started in 1944 by Edwin H. Land because his 3-year-old daughter didn't understand why she couldn't see a picture right after it was taken. So he fixed that problem for her, and then became a billionaire. That's why you should listen to your toddlers. They might give you $1 million idea. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe my channel and press the bell notification to be the first one to watch my videos. Thanks for watching, and bye.